much like to live like a human being. Is it really true that human beings don't have a fishtail like we have?
I don't understand you at all. You're a mermaid of noble birth. The noblest birth you can imagine, for you are a daughter of the King of the Sea. And yet all the time you think about human beings. Our kingdom under the sea is the widest and most beautiful in the world. We look after you here to the best of our ability. You have everything you need to be happy, but you're always pestering me with the same questions about human beings. Swim away and play.
Oh, dear.
Come here. Your eldest sister has just had permission to swim to the top of the sea to celebrate her 15th birthday. She'll have had an opportunity to see some human beings. Go and ask her what they are like. She'll be able to tell you all about them.
Tell me, dear sister, is the country where men live a beautiful one?
Oh, it's not at all bad. Grandma wasn't lying when she told us about it. The towns seemed to me to be very big when I saw them in the moonlight. Mind you, our palace is much more beautiful than anything they've got there. Our palace has got lovely doors made of shell, which open and close in the gentle streams of the current. And the sky up there isn't as beautiful blue-green as our sea is, and there aren't any beautiful foamy waves.
In another 4 years, I'll be 15 years old. Tell me, dear sister, is the country where men live a beautiful one?
I saw white icebergs as tall as our palace floating on a grey sea, and the northern lights dazzled me with their brilliant colours.
But did you see any men?
Oh, you never dream of anything else but men. It must be for that reason you took the statue of the little boy we found in the hold of the wrecked ship and put it in your garden. Well, I've seen men, and they don't seem very extraordinary to me. Our silver tails are much more graceful than the funny little sticks they call legs.
Another 3 years before I can go. My 2 sisters are very lucky to have been born before me. Tell me, dear sister, is the country where men live a beautiful one?
I was very bold and swam right up a broad river. I saw beautiful green hills with castles and farms surrounded by magnificent trees. I heard birds singing. Their voices are as beautiful as ours are. In a little creek, there were some children swimming quite naked. When they saw me, they ran away, and a horrible animal with 4 legs and long black hair came to the edge of the water and barked at me, just like seals do when they howl at the moon.
I've got 2 years to go, and then it will be my turn. Tell me, dear sister, is the country where men live a beautiful one?
I went a long way from the shore, swimming with the waves. There were porpoises leaping around me, and big whales blowing through their nostrils, sending hundreds of sprays of water up into the sky.
Just 1 more year, and then at last I'll be able to go with you and see for myself the land that men live in. Today, I can swim away and find out what human beings are like.
Oh, come here, my little dreamer. For your wonderful journey, I want you to be more beautiful than ever. Let me comb your long black hair and twine pearl necklaces into it. What big shiny eyes you've got. They're like sapphires. Now, don't move. I'm going to tie oyster shells to your tail.
Oh.
That's a sign of your noble birth.
Oh, they're very heavy. I'm so impatient to get away.
Oh, you've got to put up with a certain number of things in order to be beautiful. You can't swim around the ocean dressed like any ordinary mermaid. You've got to be dressed properly. There, my little pearl. You're even more beautiful than your sisters.
Goodbye, goodbye, Grandma. I feel as light as a bubble of air. I think I'll burst with joy when I get into the sunlight. Well, Little Mermaid, is the country where men live a beautiful one? Oh, yes, it is beautiful. Everything you told me about it is true. But I'm exhausted now, and there's only one thing I want to do, and that is to go to sleep. Good night.
What a strange little creature she is. Just you see, she won't act like any one of us. She won't say anything about her journey.
Dear statue in my garden, you're the only one I'm going to tell about my journey. You come from up there, and you're the only one who can really understand me. Moreover, you look very like my handsome prince. When I reached the surface of the sea, the sun had just set. The sky was like a beautiful ceiling above my head, and the evening stars shed a dreamy light. The air was soft and fresh. The sea was calm without a ripple on it. There was a fine, proud ship floating motionless on the waves. All its sails were furled, and there was a ball taking place on the ship. The sound of music floated on the air. I went up to the ship, and through one of the portholes, I saw a crowd of wonderfully dressed men and women. But the handsomest of all the people there was a young prince with big, dark eyes. At one moment, I was very, very frightened, for suddenly thousands of suns and stars of fire of all colors were launched from the ship, and they fell in a shower into the sea. Somebody shouted, "Oh, what a beautiful firework!" In the middle of the night, tired out with their dancing, the people on the ship went to bed. Then, suddenly, a terrible storm broke out. The ship fought against it, riding on the tops of the waves, then plunging into the deep troughs between them. But all at once, the mainmast fell over, blown down by the fierce wind. The hull was split in two, and the ship sank very quickly. I swam around amongst the wreckage, looking for my handsome prince, and I found him fighting desperately. Do you know, statue, at first I was happy to think he was coming down to my father's palace. Then I remembered that men die when they come to the bottom of the sea. So as he was fainting, I held him up and kept him from sinking beneath the waves. When day came, I took him very gently and laid him on a sandy beach. I hid myself behind a rock, and I saw a group of young girls coming out from a big white hut. One of them came up to the prince and touched his eyes. He opened them and smiled. After that, they took him into the big hut. I never saw him again, and he doesn't even know my name. And that is why I'm so sad, because he doesn't know it was I who saved him. I'm sure I shall never see him again. Grandma, I'd like to ask you a question.
Well,
If men aren't drowned, can they live forever and ever?
oh no, they die much quicker than we do. But there is one thing about them. They've got an immortal soul which lives after their body has crumbled into dust. Their souls rise into the heavens, right up to the shiny stars, and then they see beautiful lands that you and I will never have the happiness of seeing. We live 300 years or so, and then we turn into foam on the crest of a wave.
I would give all my hundreds of years of existence just to live as a human being. Do you think I could ever have the right to become immortal?
Don't go dreaming about such silly things as that. We are much happier than men are. Go away and swim with your sisters. They never bother their little heads with the sort of thoughts that you have.
Well, little girl, it must have required a lot of courage for you to come and see me. You had to swim into all my whirlpools, hadn't you? And then you had to go past my sea serpents and escape their twining coils and their 1,000 gaping mouths that were ready to eat you.
Oh, Mistress of the Dark Depths, I was terribly frightened.
I knew you were. I knew you were. And you've done all this simply because you want to see your dark-eyed prince again. You're very, very silly, my dear creature. You want to get rid of your beautiful fish tail and have 2 funny little sticks in its place so that you can meet your handsome prince and make him fall in love with you. Huh? It's true, nevertheless, that if he married you, you would get an immortal soul. Well, since you ask me, I'm going to make you a special potion that you must swallow when you land. I warn you, you'll feel a terrible pain, as if somebody were cutting your body in 2 with a sword when your tail's turned into 2 legs. You'll be able to walk very gracefully, but every step you take will be agony for you. You understand?
Yes, I understand.
Once you become immortal, you won't be able to become a mermaid again. And if the prince doesn't marry you, you'll die on the very day that he marries another girl.
I understand.
There's just one more thing. You're going to pay for the privilege of getting a pair of legs. I'm going to put some of my own blood in the potion, so it's only fair that you should agree to sacrifice something too. You have the most beautiful voice in the world. It would be enough in itself to charm the prince, but I want you to give it to me.
But I'll be dumb if I give you my voice.
Yes, you'll be dumb, my dear. You will have your eyes to show what your heart feels.
I understand. I am ready to give you my voice.
Well, girls, have you been able to find out about the Little Mermaid? Is it true what my spies have told me? That the sea witch changed her tail into 2 legs so that she could go to the prince's country?
Yes, Grandmother, it's true. We swam to the foot of the marble staircase that comes down into the bottom of the sea, and we saw the Little Mermaid.
She's changed terribly. She's still got her long black hair and her eyes are as blue as ever. But instead of her lovely fish tail, she had 2 horrible legs, just like human beings have.
Her dresses were studded with precious gems and she never stopped smiling. We heard one of the servants say that she was found one morning stretched out on the beach. One of them said, "What a pity it is that she can't speak, for our prince loves her very much indeed. She sleeps in a room nearby and he takes her with him everywhere. In order to please him, she's even learned to ride a horse." Grandma, do you know what a horse is?
Of course I do, but that's not important. What is important is this. Do you think our little mermaid was happy?
Well...
No. Tonight, we saw her dipping her legs into the water as if she wanted to cool them. She was looking at the sea rather sadly. Perhaps she misses us.
My dear children, our little mermaid is lost to us forever. Sea witch, you can be satisfied. Here I am, the old queen, coming to ask you for help.
What a wonderful day indeed. And you're begging for help from me. You, the proudest person in the sea. What can I do for you?
You know perfectly well what you can do for me.
That may be. But I'd rather hear it from your own lips. Tell me what it is.
I'm forced to do exactly what you wish. I am coming to you because I've learned that the prince is soon to marry a girl from the land.
Yes, he's going to marry the young princess that he saw when he opened his eyes on the beach. He always thought that it was she who saved him from the sea, and not the Little Mermaid.
Yes. What you don't say is that on the wedding night, the Little Mermaid is sure to die. I don't want the Little Mermaid to die. Ask me for anything you like, and I'll give it to you.
I agree to help you. But you needn't worry. I'm not kind-hearted. I hate soft ideas like that. I've always wanted to have your other granddaughter's hair. Cut off their hair and bring it to me. And just to make a good bargain, you can add your own.
I'm completely in your power. What will you do in exchange?
I'll give you a dagger for the Little Mermaid. On the wedding night, when the prince and his wife have gone to sleep, she can plunge this dagger into his heart. His crimson blood will flow over the mermaid's feet, and gradually she'll get her fishtail back again. All she'll have to do then is to swim away into the waves and live again with you, just as she used to. I warned her about it. I warned her. I warned her.
Witch of the Seas, you played a trick on us.
You did.
Oh, no. I kept my side of the bargain.
What happened to the Little Mermaid?
We gave her the dagger as you told us to.
We told her to plunge it into the prince's heart when he was asleep.
She looked at us sadly and threw the dagger into the sea. The sea became red immediately, and then she jumped into the waves.
The sun was setting. suddenly, before she had even touched the surface of the waves, the little mermaid disappeared from sight like a flame that has been blown out by an invisible wind.
This is the first time in my long life I have been beaten. Thanks to her love, the little mermaid has been triumphant over me. She sacrificed herself so that the prince could be happy with his young wife. She has become a spirit of the air.
Will we ever see her again?
No, you will never see her again. She is lost to you forever. From now on, she will have an immortal soul, and she will fly with her companions in the deep blue of the skies. All her past sadness is forgotten. She has found eternal happiness.